This is episode 90.
Is it recording already?
Wait. It's recording.
Alright, cool. Alright, well, I can do it. Alright, go ahead, Romo, do the thing.
90! 90!
Romo's back from his little trip, you know, so good thing we're back.
And we're gonna do a Galveston recap.
We're still missing Diego. We're still missing Diego. Shout out to Diego, bro.
I think people know what I do down there.
He's working the graveyard shift. Shout out to Diego if he's listening to this while he's at work.
Yeah, he's a faithful subscriber.
Hey man, is it true that the Taco Bell meat is not real meat? Let us know.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. If someone hands you a taco and says this is beef, and then they say give me 99 cents for it,
it can't be.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to question the character on
but
that.
They say.
Right?
Oh, yeah. That's what.
All right. So that's what this podcast is about. It's about character. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about what is character. You know what I'm saying first. Right. You know what I'm saying? So okay. What do you think character is, Chris? You start off.
The character is like what you are when nobody's watching. Right? That's your character. That's like if how you are when you're not trying to impress. You just being you and shit. So I feel like good character is like when you open the door for old lady.
Or anybody.
Or anybody really, to be honest. Any other human being, even
aliens.
Yeah, aliens, dogs, cats, unless they don't want no dogs in there, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess having good character is like being polite, being nice, being empathic.
So you think character has to do with
kindness,
with what you, I guess, kind of
what you admit into the world.
Yeah.
So like if they have bad character, then we'll
talk about that because it is contagious. All right, what do you think character is, Romo?
Character, yeah, I think character would be like how you, like he had said, how you carry yourself, but it's also how you carry yourself, and when people aren't looking, or when you think people aren't looking, what are you doing? You know, are you working on yourself still? Are you constantly, you know, trying to help the world, or what type of a person are you to a certain degree? Yeah. What about you? What do you think character is? That's like my quick sum up of it.
Well, it's like if you think of a video game. You know, when you customize a character in the beginning, one of them kind of video games, and you have to you only have a certain amount of HP points to put on their attributes, like their speed, stealth, stamina. You know, okay. Then you have the other stuff like, okay, are they a thinker? Are they, are they good at building shit? You know, are they good at hunting? Are they good fighters? Are they good warriors? Are they good leaders? Those to me, the skill set behind you. Basically, like if I was to, like a video game, if I was to pull up a little HUD screen up on you,
like Morrowind, like Elder Scrolls.
Yes,
yeah.
It would
or like a Madden character. You know, when you create a player on Madden or whatever.
It will show your stats.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what character is. All right, now how to build character. You want to go on the round table, or you just
building character? Well, see, that's the thing. That's the old school thing, right? Like struggle, strife. Grown-ups always say, well, it builds character. And I use that excuse too, shit. Because I feel like it does. You know, like when you struggle, when you're sad, when you're angry, getting over that shit builds character.
Yes.
You use that pain and shit and that suffering, and then you make a little brick of it and you just build for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you also, but it can also cause trauma. Like, suffering can cause trauma, like, depending on what kind of suffering or pain it is.
Yeah.
Some is self-induced pain, some is natural pain. But the pain that you can control is not, like, your parents and shit. Like, it's just pain that, like, from...
daily life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What life throws at you.
Yeah. Right. And it depending on what you do with it...
I'm sorry.
You're right. Depending on what you do with it, it will build your character or deplete your character.
And it all varies on how you take or how life throws a curveball at you.
Yes,
You know, you can have that character of like, you carry yourself, you know that you're weak in the inside, you know that you're hurting, but you carry yourself, very strong. You know, people will notice that. You may not speak much, you may not say much, but you're holding yourself together on the outside, because internally you're just
That's not.
But you're keeping yourself together, but you as a professional, like you say, at your workplace.
But that's not.
But it's your character.
But that could build up to bad character because you're keeping it all bottled in.
Yeah, that's what I was
And when you build it towards good characters, like you keep yourself professional because you're doing a job there, and you're not going to let yourself be out of emotion. Like say somebody goes at you, just dropping something in front of you, and you're just going to blow up about it because on the inside, you're
but
demons and you're expelling out as a
right
way.
But I had to do this course for my job.
Okay, yeah.
And it talked about how
I have an interjection for that though.
But it talks about how we react. Like the reason that somebody, it's not. We have to detach ourselves because it has no personal. It's not in the personal. They're going through their own shit, right? And they want to bring you into that negativity, and you're just like, nah, I'm not because I know that it has nothing to do with me at all.
If so and so's having a bad day that they would drop a box in front of me, I have to be able to say, yo, you know what? They're clearly having a bad day. I'm not gonna let that fuck with me.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to do.
Yeah,
but that's part of like practice because I have to deal with that shit all the fucking time too, bro. Like at work, but I mean, it's like everywhere you work, there's gonna be.
And like you said, keeping things inside. I think that's not character. Well, that's character. That's bad character. A motherfucker that just constantly wants to.
But you don't want to overshare either.
Well, no. But like you said, someone that walks around when you see
holding it in.
Yes. It's at a certain point. At a certain point, it's like you. If you had a good character, you'd address that shit instead of just holding it in. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're doing is making it worse. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here.
It starts to leak into the out character.
I can sit here.
That's the line between good and bad character. How you go about how you handle your shit.
Right.
If you're gonna carry like how you say sometimes you're carrying a rain cloud over you, you know you're just projecting it bad. But if you just carry yourself right, as in just keep yourself professional, but also venting it out to certain people and not to everybody.
Yeah, you do have to vent, but then you also have to like
deal with it. You know, shit. You gotta just like a lot.
And you gotta let people know, hey, I want advice or I don't want advice. I just want to vent, or
a lot of people just like having problems to bitch about. Oh, I got this. They want to blame. They playing the victim, right? Everything's against me. Everything's about me. Everyone's against me. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing's my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Is that lack of character or is that poor character?
That's poor character. Yeah. That's poor character. You know, if you walk around always when things don't go your way or when or this and that and things keep going bad and you keep on blaming, it's like, see what you're doing? You're just digging a bigger hole for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, things are not like I think I don't know what it is. I think sometimes we want to control everything. We think things are in our control. A lot of times things aren't in our. I mean, I guess. Half the things are in our control and half the things are not. But no, the only thing in control is yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Your own emotions, your own character. That's all you can control.
All that goes into your a bar on your character level.
Right.
On how certain things handle it. Like when pain comes, you handle a breakup. How you handle it varies. Either going to 0 or you're going to 100. You can handle it very well. You can't handle it very well at all.
Right.
That's just a part of your character, and you either address it or you don't.
Right. You should, but what's it called when you have when people have road rage?
Yeah.
Right. It's how you react to that. That. So usually, in the past, and sometimes when I'm having a rough time, I get upset and I'm like, oh fuck this guy, and I start telling him.
Yeah.
But I tried more recently to be like, nah, they got their own shit. They can't pay their bills. Yeah. Who knows what the fuck they got going on? They got STDs. They got
It's like don't.
They could be going through personal hell, and I shouldn't let it affect me.
Yeah, the negativity of you know what I'm saying. And one of the things that you said, dealing with breakups and stuff. I've had various homies who I thought we were on the same page, right? We were doers, that was an old word that we learned. We were doers, and then I had another friend. We're the same way. We were on the same clique. And then, I don't know if I thought about a podcast, but a girl came across and then, played with them. And the dude never got over it. The dude started drinking. The dude started hanging out with. He started, he knows my old roommate. You know what I'm saying? He started drinking, started hanging out with his old bad influences. Why? Because I found out through the hard way that this dude had no character. This dude had one bad thing happen to him and he couldn't handle it. And so what do you start to do? You take yourself away from someone who is going to try to make you deal with it and be real, and you go hang out with other people who also have low character too, and just drink their problems away, smoke their problems away, bitch about shit. All of them play the victims. Yeah, fuck so and so. Yeah, I would be this. That's the kind of crowd he wanted to go hang around and be around because his character had now dropped, and he knew it. He took himself away from where it was here positive and worried about dealing with problems. So over there, where we just bitch about our problems and blame everybody else.
So why do you think that? Do you think that comes from child? I mean, because I feel like a big part of it, like me being a dad of a teenager, I feel like I had a big part of like you and the boys, right? You're helping build their character, and I guess that's another way to build character is if it's not necessarily from pain or struggle, some of it can be from love. Right, but I think it's a balance of both. Like you can't shelter them completely.
You
they have to suffer and feel some kind of pain.
Like I said, you can decide to be a doer or a feeler. Are you just gonna feel shit and cry about it and play the victim and blame other things for other people? They always say that, oh, everything's against me. Instead of being like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm a fucking badass. I'm a hero. Life is putting this in my pack because I can handle it.
Yeah,
but clearly not. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's why I shout out to like people who not all Christians are like. But that's a cool, because the Bible said God won't put you through it if you can't handle it.
Yeah.
The only reason He's putting you through it is because you can handle it.
And you know, and
you're probably handling it to set an example for somebody else, and you don't even realize.
And certain people get it so twisted and so confused. Like when you ask for wisdom, God's gonna put problems for you to solve. When you want to be for strength, God's gonna put you through things that are gonna give you strength at the end of the day.
Right.
You know,
with the struggle.
Man, it's what I've asked for the last 2 months. I've damn near begged God, for it, and it's not that I want Him to give me the answer. All I would ask for is just I trust You, and just show me the path and show me the way.
You see,
you have to eat a humble pie with it, no matter what He shows you and what He's hitting you with, but. It's what I asked for. These curveballs that I'm getting hit with now is what I asked for, and how I go and deal with it is how I'm going to go about it, and I feel like I'm going to go do better about it. It's how you deal with these curveballs. It's not about I can keep wallowing in self-pity, depression, or I can keep going on the momentum I had when I first lost my job.
Right.
Just keep going.
Yeah, bro, there's an old phrase that God helps him who helps himself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. All that begging and all that stuff you're saying, God is probably sending you signs. You don't remember, doer or a feeler. Which one do you want to be? You know, you like you said, crying for 2 months and asking God for help, begging, probably hasn't done much. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like I'm saying, you have to yourself put yourself in that mindset. All right, I'm done feeling. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I want to be a doer. I'm gonna, like you said, eat some humble pie. Accept that. Hey, you know what? Maybe. Try to analyze what got me here. Like you said, if you're in a bad spot, what got me here? What got me here? And so just do the opposite, basically, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's adjustments that you gotta make. It's adjustments, and
it's like when you're a character in a video game and you enter another level, it's gonna get harder. You're gonna have to go edit those attributes to fit what the new enemies are gonna be. Before you might have needed your rage. I realized that before in the past, my anger was a weapon I would use. But I realized that a couple months ago, you know what? There's no need to take your sword out anymore. It's time to sheath it. You know what I'm saying? It's time to handle things in other way. Real power does not come from always having to fight a battle or getting mad, right? Or having to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like if the real battle is by helping the people. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the thing.
You gotta help yourself before you can help the people.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I've adjusted is I'm turning down the attitude and trying to turn up the compassion a little more. Because I'm way more wiser than I was back a year ago, 2 years ago. So I can sit here and say that maybe back then I would have, my anger would have served me as helped me out. But now I just know that my anger, ego, all that stuff is just it's
hindrance.
Yes, and I need to eat humble pie on the regular. You know what I'm saying? So I can keep that.
Yes, it's every day is a constant struggle to maintain positive character and good character. It's a constant grind.
Like back to video games again. Sometimes life is gonna be like Doom, where you go in there and you kick ass, but sometimes it's gonna be like Splinter Cell, where you have to be stealthy and you have to do everything. You have to be
or it's
like
gonna be like Minecraft, where you gotta fucking build this whole fucking thing.
That's what the last 2 months have been. That's why I haven't been posting anything. I stayed off of social media. I stay off a lot of shit. I might go on it just to see random stuff, but it's really for historical shit. But I'm really more focusing on me.
Yeah.
And trying to build that character back up. Find the attributes that fell off and start rebuilding and adjusting to where I need to go.
I think you should start recording or something. Creating something.
That's why I have the episode outlines laid out. It's just getting down there to the nitty gritty. And you know what? God actually...
Let's be a doer. Let's do
God is actually giving me more of an open arm now. Is because, work's cutting my hours now. Because they're having so many more people. So, I'm not getting all my hours cut. But I have open time. And instead of me sleeping, I'm going to use that time to get up, stay ready whenever they do call me into work, and sit there and study. So get up at midnight, do whatever I need to do, act like it's night school.
Well, like we talked about probably last time, it was meditations and recording is very meditative. Like when I do my Friday podcast, this is for sure meditative. But when I do my solo shit, I'm creating something. When I've been doing the Inktober shit, I'm not a great artist, but I do little doodles and shit, and it's just kind of, I think since God made us in His image and He's a creator, He wants us to create, whether that's like be fucking like plants or something. I'm trying to grow a little plant, but it's already dying. I'm not good at that.
So yeah, so when you things like you said, take that energy that you would normally use to do shit that doesn't serve you, you know what I'm saying, and put it towards being creative. And like when he says record, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to record something because you want to put it out. Just start recording and just basically record a rough draft. Just you talking, getting shit out, just getting shit out of your health. Like you said, you want to vent to yourself. Ain't no one else is gonna deal with this except you. You know
God and your angels are always listening.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
And then it's good to listen back to it. It can be meditative where you can be like, damn, it's really good because now I have to go back and edit every fucking video, and I'm barely on 40. I got like 40 more to fucking do, right? But I get to like hear myself, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna do this, and it reminds me that this positive thinking, and it's like, but it's also, I mean, because then I'm like, oh, I can cut that out because I didn't like how I would say that or something. A lot of it's like fucking coughing. I'm like, damn, I wasn't even sick, and I can't even tell the difference.
Oh yeah, I noticed that a lot.
Yeah.
Nah, but one of the things I was gonna say about that is like, I told my homeboy that like, getting those negative emotions out of you is good sometimes. Like sometimes you feel like, oh, I shouldn't say this stuff, or I shouldn't get it out. Okay, yeah, you shouldn't say it to that person or the people maybe, right? But you just say it like, man, man, this motherfucking bitch always tripping, blah blah blah. Say it and then observe it. Once it's out of you, observe it. You're gonna be like, damn, you know what? That's not me, and you're gonna get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But motherfuckers like to hold on to shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's unhealthy to hold on.
Exactly.
Because it's energy. And energy has to go somewhere.
That depletes your character. Holding on to negativity is like a good way to like lose HP. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm lucky when I get frustrated because I have to like leave my classroom and do some work in other places. And then I'm like, if I might get frustrated about other people not putting in their part and it makes it hard on me, I get to come back to my classroom and talk to there's a couple teachers I work with most of the time, and I can kind of vent, in a censored way because the kids are there, but sometimes they're taking a nap and shit, so I can like. But and I have to like I had to learn, man, to like fucking breathe because sometimes you just gotta sit in this shit, and sometimes it almost like I don't know, like I would try to like. Oh, I want to leave so I can medicate or something, but instead it's like, no, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
you've been through this a million times.
That's another thing, like that depletes your character. If you're the kind of person that has to run to the bottle, run to the weed, run to whatever you do every time that you're in a bad mood, you feel sad, you get depressed, bro. That's lack of character. You can't handle your own problem, so you gotta go. You gotta go use something to what. The problem's not gonna go away. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's just magnified now because, like I've said before.
It can make it worse.
Obviously, alcohol makes everything worse, and I think weed. It makes.
If you have an anxiety attack, it might not.
Because
help.
The weed just reflects everything anyway. You know what I'm saying?
It just enhances whatever you're thinking. It just magnifies it.
Yeah, magnifies.
So if you're like in a great mood, it's just gonna make it great.
And if you're in a shitty mood, you're all depressed, feeling sorry for yourself. It's gonna be even worse.
More than I feel like it'll help me, but then
you deal with it.
Right, then you're not really dealing with it if you do that.
You're not,
and that's part of having bad character.
Yes.
Dealing with the shit.
And what is it to go back to what you were saying? I just had a mind fuck. But what I was gonna say is with certain people, going through stuff. You have to go through stuff. That sometimes as far as like I guess it was Cus D'Amato actually said this about when building Mike Tyson was that he had to get to the core of who he was. So he had to just take down all the barriers and layers that this kid had put up, so he can rebuild this character from scratch.
Right.
Like it's something that some kids do have to go through. Sometimes you will have to deal with bad character for
Mike Tyson showed that he didn't have good character because look, after Cus built him, turned him into a fucking man, made him into a champion, the best boxer the world has ever seen. After he got a little bit of fame, got a little bad influence, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
You know,
he had weak.
and I'll bet you
character.
Mike Tyson at one point. Yeah, I bet you Mike Tyson at one point wanted to blame Cuss. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his fault.
You think
You know
they
what I'm
like
saying?
probably like
And-
brainwashed him too, like since he's like
he
Hollywood
was,
type
bro.
shit.
Yeah,
like,
bro. He was surrounded by horrible people.
MK Ultra.
Yeah,
he was
and
surrounded.
Cuss was kept all those people away, and the way he would build his fighters was pretty amazing. Was he would build them up, but then he would also he would make him like these famous fighters. He would make them not dependent on him, like they needed him. No, he wanted them to be their own men, be their own type of who they wanted to be.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And that probably, if he would seen how Mike's career went, he probably would roll over in his grave. But how Mike's going about it now.
Yeah.
And how he's redeeming himself, I think Cuss would probably be very proud of Mike.
Because I bet you Cuss at first thought he created a leader, but turning he's another follower. You know, Mike Tyson just became another victim of the game, bro. You know, and it sucks. You know, like he said, Cuss probably thought he did great. All that work he put in to try and train a champion, train a man,
Right.
and then look how he turned out. The
Right.
first sign of trouble, it's like, damn, bro, I thought. You know, it's like you don't owe me anything, but I would think that you at least show that, you know, pay me back by showing that you're a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but hey, it sucks that Cuss had to die and everything before Mike could ever, you know, really get his shit straight. Mike had to go to jail. Mike had to
And I
lose
think
all his money.
that was a test from God to Mike to test his character. Because I feel like God has his wages with the devil every time with everybody around their lives. So like, oh yeah, I bet you the devil makes a wager like with anybody to say, I bet you I can make him press, and I bet you he'll renounce your name.
For sure.
You know, and God will be like, nah, his character is too strong. I know this one, and if not, his character will be even stronger after your manipulation, because I know the love that I have for him is strong.
If you have a strong character, you know, you'll be able to sense that negativity around you, and you'll be able to elevate, get away from that shit instead of giving into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know there's nothing here except for I'm gonna be stuck. It's like we were on a straight narrow path. We were headed towards paradise, and then you know something happens and we have to pull over, and instead of like deciding that okay, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna fix whatever it is, I'm just gonna sit here outside the road and be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like the road is still there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to realize.
Or you bust out a bike and you're like, I could do it on this bike and it'll take forever, but I'll do it instead of
not asking for help.
Instead of for like trying
Oh, look
to
at
work
that! Yeah,
together.
character. That's you know.
Like you're gonna struggle a lot, and it's like you're wasting time though. Like
we don't do
wasting.
nothing alone. Nothing. Like we're all connected. If you taking psychedelics, if you listen to, you know this by now. It's like you know New Age shit 101, right? Like we're all connected, you know. So no one does anything alone. You know what I'm saying? I didn't become this version of me without everyone who I came into contact with every second of every day. You know they are what made me. I can't just say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't have like the confidence to keep making the podcast if it wasn't for you guys and this podcast and this just it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like
character too is like not being a motherfucker that's just doing it for clout. That when you don't see
Yeah.
that, oh, I need to get more than 50 views.
it's not working fast enough. I need to pay for likes and shit.
You keep saying that like, oh, if I don't get 50 views on this one, I don't know if I'm gonna do it
That
anymore.
shows
Like,
you.
You're not doing it
Yeah,
for right.
That shows your character as far as like who you are and what you really want. Like
clout
people,
chaser.
are you doing it for yourself? You doing it for other people?
Yeah, because when I go to work and I want to get out quickly because I want to go home and do my own shit. I want to go do my research. I want to spend time with my kids. You know,
Right.
I want to go to work just to say I fucking hate this. I don't like it, but I do it because I want to go do what I love. I do what I hate so I can love what I do. It's a weird kind of angle.
I mean, yeah, but like
and the ultimate
you
goal,
don't have to do something that you hate.
Well, for right now, I have to,
Yeah.
and I have to eat that humble pie right now for it because life situations.
You could be a teacher assistant like me. I think you would enjoy being around the kids, but it's
I
like
would, but
40 hours a week.
The ultimate goal for me is I want to be a teacher.
Right.
And not even like.
Well, I know, and eventually you're gonna have to work at a teacher for who? For kids?
For high school kids.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, even then you'd have to work, like put in some hours.
That's fine, but I know that the closer that I get to there, the more and more I can just say I don't have to do this other job. I can just say thank you for what you've given me.
But I mean, it's like there's worse jobs. There's way worse jobs.
I could be mining for diamonds over there in Africa or something.
Yeah, you could have to wake up.
I was just thinking here there's worse
I could be-
jobs.
You
You could be having
go
an
clean the
Uber
fucking toilet at the
or
grocery
Uber
store.
food or
Oh,
something.
dude, you know what I saw at UPS, bro? There was a dude that I swear to you looks like Patrick Mahomes. He looked like
he's an engineer. Yeah, he's one of the engineers.
Bro, he was cleaning
Wait, is
up
Patrick
toilet.
Mahomes and he has the curly hair?
Yeah, Patrick
bro.
Mahomes is a quarterback from the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah.
Wasn't he in? Okay, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Does he live in Dallas or something?
No, he used to live in Texas. He
Okay.
used to.
Well, whenever I was getting my fade, that's what my cousin told old girl. He's like, dude, like he's trying to get like the Patrick Mahomes because he's like real curly hair.
Yeah, they like that shit.
Yeah.
You know, talking about Mahomes, all this money he's gotten will show what kind of characters this guy really about. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's how you can tell. Adam Sandler has great character because he doesn't. Well, I don't know, but he dresses like he has no money. That's some kind of character, right?
But he makes really shitty movies. And
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're for a certain audience. They're for kids.
I guess.
Kid movies.
That's his last
Okay,
great
well,
movie to me.
you wouldn't give M. Night Shyamalan the same path.
I don't even like. I mean, I've watched Sixth Sense and that's it. Like, I'm not a big Shyamalan.
Like, he sucks. That's what I'm saying. He sucks.
Shyamalan?
Yes.
So he should. But he probably dress. I imagine he dresses all fancy and shit like Versace.
But back to Mahomes and his character. Like after getting $100 million, you know, if you're still gonna show up to practice, even when it's just voluntary, even if you're gonna be there, you know, still doing all the real work, and not just like I'm gonna show up to practice, just say I was there and bounce.
I think that Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl, showed it because he was playing lights out from the start of the first all the way to that last possession he had. He played lights out.
And you know why these young quarterbacks are so dedicated and driven? Because of the mentor they had, Tom Brady, the guy who came before them. He's shown his character, bro. This motherfucker was not drafted anywhere near the top. No one gave a fuck about this guy, and look at him. Most Super Bowl appearances, most Super Bowl victories, he's got records out the butthole that will probably never be broken. Maybe Mahomes will match him, you know what I'm saying? But
he's like fucking humble and shit.
And in the Super Bowl, this guy has been down and came back.
But after Tom leaves, the competition that's in here right now in the NFL, you've got Lamar Jackson, you've got freaking Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, got Dak coming.
Oh, he's a
up
quarterback, Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah. You know, then you've also got younger quarterbacks like Zach Wilson and.
Okay, this ain't the sports podcast.
I'm just saying.
This turned into
I'm talking about the character. I'm
sports.
talking about the character that the Tom Brady. That he's
Because
giving.
the shine will like. All right, let's take it back. Like Michael Irvin, he had weak character because
All those dudes, our Cowboys, they won us our championships, but they were some hoes.
Man,
were they?
Yeah.
They were,
No,
bro,
like
bro,
Stella,
they
I mean,
were
Deion
so-
Sanders had to do Dancing with the Stars, so he must have all the money.
Bro, when they put out the Cocaine Cowboys documentary, the Texas joke here was like, I thought they were talking about the Cowboys from the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
So maybe the Al Pacino movie was about us.
Bro,
it was about the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dolphins in the 70s, the
Steelers?
Steelers. Bro, everybody, all these teams, they're all savages. What do you expect?
They're like Vikings and shit.
Yes.
No, they're fucking.
They're literally modern day Vikings. These
But not
bro.
Vikings. What is the Roman when they used to? Well, Spartan, not Spartan, but when they fight each other and shit to death. That was basically what they did. We have Vikings.
Gladiator.
Gladiators. That's what I'm trying to.
There you go. You got anything else to say about character? Anybody got any questions about character?
Man,
It's only been 30 minutes.
I don't know, we still got a lot more we can go.
I think kids are born with like this good character, but it depends on if you on the parents and the society if they take it apart or add to it, make it stronger or make it weaker.
I think every kid comes in with a different character.
You think? Well, yeah.
Yes, I can tell you this for a fact. There's some kids who are born, with seeing like innocence and purity, but there's some kids, bro, that just like they're born with some anger, And obviously, like you said, that does have to do with their parents. You know, if it was a really rough pregnancy, if their parents were drug users,
But then like trauma travels through DNA supposedly and shit.
Yeah. According to science, trauma travels 5 generations.
And I imagine like if it was like if the intercourse was like angrily, then the little sperm's gonna be angry and he's gonna hit the egg angry and it's just gonna be angry.
That would be an interesting study. How do the kids who were made out of rape, how did they turn?
That's what I wanted to say that, but then I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to make it sound like a joke.
It's not a joke, but that's a question.
But then they come out like I imagine like a rape case, like that sperm's gonna be like a fucking.
What if they come out
serial
little fucking demons already, bro? We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
The anger and aggression that was
it's
involved
a legit question.
in
the question.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If your creation was a violent one, then I should expect you to be a violent person. You know what I'm saying?
There's like serial killers in the world.
It's like a person who's been through a lot of hood PTSD, bro. Like you don't understand why they're so, like always on edge. You know what I'm saying? Why they're so ready to always fight.
And then their kids are a lot of times like that.
Like, you be seeing dudes like that. Just like, damn, bro, chill out, bro. Take the hood. We at work. Chill out.
It's in Call of Duty, bro.
Yeah, bro. What else?
That's bad character. If all you do is play video games. That's a bad character.
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys our age that play nothing but video
You
games.
spend other time building up other characters and not building your character.
Yeah.
Fake character.
Yeah, fake character, bro.
It's okay to like it and play it for a little while, but maybe for your leisure time when you've done most
everything.
of it, it's like
When you have good character, you realize everything.
Earn that shit.
yeah.
You have to earn it, but then everything you have to have everything in like not too much.
Oh,
Modesty.
yes.
And modest.
Wait.
Modest amounts.
Wait, you're
Modest
yes.
mouse.
No, he's right, but I feel like there's. Well, keep going. No,
There's like another way to
he's
say
right.
it, right?
He's right.
Yeah.
There's many ways to say it. It's an adjective.
Right.
Moderate.
Moderate.
That's the word.
I thought it was short for moderate.
What was the word you said?
Modest.
Modest. Modest is more like someone who's not. Modest is like another word for humble.
But you can do like a modest amount of food.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
like if someone said they had a very modest home, that means your home is.
But it's
not-
also
it's
you
not
could
lavish.
also use moderate. It's a synonym, I think.
Moderate home.
Right?
All right, man.
This ain't the
You're
word
not
podcast.
you're not the English major or nothing, bro.
Hey, I have a.
Just
I
because
have
you're a teacher don't mean you're gonna fool us with that
I
bullshit.
have an associate in science.
What the fuck's that got to do with English?
That's not
You
English.
feel?
That's not English.
But I had
grammar.
to take. I had to take.
You're a
3.
rapper. You don't have good grammar anyway.
No,
Damn,
I'm
that's
a backpack.
stereotype to
Right. I'm
rappers, bro.
I'm a
He doesn't.
backpack rapper.
He doesn't.
I'm a backpack
He calls
rapper.
himself L-I-L with an apostrophe. That's not a word. Lil. That's what he calls himself.
It's got to be in the dictionary
man.
by this time.
He
My
spells
name-
chaos with the K. I mean,
Hold on.
clearly this guy's not an English.
No, I don't spell it.
First off, my gamer tag should be in like the Guinness Book of Funniest Names.
Oh, yeah.
Romo?
Lil Beaner Man.
Little Beaner Man A+.
Lil Beaner Man.
It should be.
Is that
etched.
talking about your penis?
Lil Beaner. Look at you, Chris.
Yeah.
That's elementary school humor.
I'm sorry.
But no. If
got
they
that from
pull up,
Carlos
if
Mencia?
they somehow miraculously
The
pull
beaner?
up those,
Because didn't Carlos Mencia create that beaner?
He's a beaner. That's
Yeah.
but he created that, right?
No.
No.
No,
He just put it
wait a
on
minute.
blast.
Beaner's been an insult forever.
yeah, it's been a racial.
If you
term
watch
for me.
80s movies where they said it. Basically. He didn't invent that.
Okay.
And no one, okay, let's talk about this. No one's invented any new racist terms for a long time.
Especially in the
They've been
90s
around
and
for
2000s.
They've all been used. We're assholes, bro. We wore that shit. We went to the
Right.
max as soon as we started
What about
talking shit.
Luke?
Those are, they're like
A mook
timeless.
Mook is not really a racial thing. It's more like an Italian calling you like a dumbass, you know? It's fucking mook over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but it's not racist.
Bro, I think I'd be a good voiceover for like a video game, like Italian cat game, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, we could do like
Like Joey, he's not Italian, he's Cuban as fuck. But the motherfucker sounds he
All right,
belongs in the
that's a
monster.
guy with good character because I don't think he like sells out and shit.
But well, bro, this
Does
nigga,
he?
do you remember what he used to do?
I know what he used
He
to
was
do.
a junkie. He kidnapped.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was talking about everything he did. You know what I'm
That's true.
saying, bro?
But now he like raises his daughter. He moved to Jersey to get away from
But
LA.
see, it took you getting in trouble, nah, bro. It took his character was pretty damn stubborn. How about that? It took
Yeah.
all those years of him having to get paid back. He invented the receipts, all those receipts that he clocked in from life. You know, when they came back, he was like, damn. You know, yeah, bro. I bet you this fool was a wild motherfucker when he was young, bro. You kidnapping motherfuckers. You know,
guess-
you over there doing coke. It's like you're doing so much coke, you just fucking stare at the fucking wall. That's what he said.
Yeah,
He was like, what the fuck, bro?
yeah. That's pretty.
You
weak
must have
character.
hated yourself.
Oh, for sure, bro. I mean, he had like.
When you did cocaine, did you do it because you wanted to have a good time? I mean, that's not even talking shit. That's a real ass question.
I started using it to have a good time. When I first started doing it, I just wanted to get.
But when you got on it now, were you doing it because, oh yeah, good time, or were you just like, I gotta do this shit, wait.
No, probably more like the second one. Probably not for a good time. Like it was. I don't
Did
know.
you get bad? Like, were you biting? You know, where you like your mouth, your man, bro.
Just dry and shit.
Remember the video I sent about the tortas?
If I would have had a fucking podcast back then, we would have been talking about nonsense. But like this, for a little bit, you just like.
Hey, isn't that crazy? Our podcast has character because it's 90 episodes and it's okay. Maybe like 5%, 5 episodes could be considered maybe just bullshit.
Fodder,
Yeah,
fat.
but look, the rest of it is real shit. We
Yeah.
put thought and passion and real
Debates,
like
anger.
real shit into our podcast. You know, these views might never come up for like 10 years, but I don't care. We're not doing it like that.
Right.
This podcast is supposed to be there for just for legit learning purposes. Bro,
sure.
I bet you someone who's thinking of a podcast, the famous guys, and come across all of our podcasts and say these nobodies did 90 episodes. Let me jack some of these topics because no one listened anyway. Watch.
I mean, but
you're gonna start seeing some of the shit we talked about.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be our perspective.
I'm gonna call him out. I'm gonna be listening.
Like, hey,
for the longest
dude,
time,
pod.
At least shout out that motherfucker.
Right.
the
give
longest
some credit.
time, I had this name of armchair historian. Remember when I first came up with this name? Because I got the armchair, and I was like, man, that would be a badass name for. This is the prelude to the whole.
He put it out into the ether, and some other guy took it from the.
I swear to God, I thought Amazon or somebody would hack my shit because I was like, there's no way nobody thought of that name. And the guy, the craziest thing, the guy that does the armchair historian, which he does a good job.
Oh, it's literally that?
Yes,
yeah, no,
you can look it up.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah. He does a very good job in his history. He does cartoons.
Right.
What is it?
Gorilla Glue.
Oh, it's one of those other ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
He does a very good job with the cartoons and the illustration of what he's talking about. He gets to the point and he's not biased. That's a good thing that I like to see.
Yeah, that's a big thing about when you tell history, bro. You have to
I can
narrate it as a spectator.
See, I can respect everything until I seen how this motherfucker look. This dude looks just like me with glasses. Only he's white and I'm Hispanic. I'm like, fuck that. Somebody hacked him.
See, the universe. See, he put it out there, but someone else, the doer took it. See, Romo, that's why you gotta.
Now you have to come up with a better because like.
I do.
What was that?
I'm the recliner historian. Fuck you.
There's a comedian called Chris.
High historian.
Chris Stefano, right? And he goes by Chrissy Chaos. And since
Chrissy Chaos.
Chrissy Chaos.
That's a dude.
It's a dude, yeah.
Oh man, that's a.
So it kind of coincided with the fact that I changed to Ches Tanuki.
Chrissy is a sissy. So easy to hate on that, bro.
Yeah, he jokes about, you know white guys, they joke about being gay.
Chrissy probably looks like a Missy.
Now he's pretty big, but I think he was on one of those.
Fat Missy.
He was on one of those MTV shows that Andrew Schultz used to be on.
Oh, you mean big like no? I thought you meant big like fat.
No, he's kind of big like,
okay.
but not like thick. He says he's fat, but he looks like he would have muscle. I don't know.
Okay, let's not get into this.
Wow.
Wow. No homo that real quick. Say it. No homo.
No, it's too late, bro.
You described him way too intimate.
Did I?
Yeah,
you did.
Oh, my bad.
He looks like he should be his body. I was like, whoa.
Like he hates on himself.
There's that awkward moment of silence, bro. We had that. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be recorded.
I can't say the other word to that awkward silence.
If you made it this far, that was just a joke.
It's an F
I'm not fucking gay, so.
Okay, don't say it so vehemently.
I know, bro.
I love Chris is a what's the word? Hetero. What's the straight one?
Heteropositive.
Is a heterosexual man. How about that?
Right.
No.
That's like literally the only one that's
canceled
not.
like Dave Chappelle is right now.
Oh yeah, bro. Bro. That's too. See, you're gonna get us canceled talking about how ridiculous and funny that is. You know?
It is, but.
Right. All right,
yeah, but yeah.
Character, but we're gonna have good character and not talk shit about trans people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I heard that I didn't watch it, but they said that he's kind of like overkilled the joke. Like, it's not even funny anymore.
Maybe he has.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like
he brought it.
Not even that it's offensive. It's just not even funny.
But maybe he's trying to say that look, they're the ones that are really worn out the joke. Because we know my theory on the trans community. We don't need to put it out on here because that's personal opinion.
Well, I think that because my sister said that there was like a pedo joke, right, on the special. She's like, if anything, he should get canceled for the pedo joke.
What did he say?
He said something like he was molested at a church and he liked it as a kid or something.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle said that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what my sister said. And she's like, well, that's why he should get canceled. I was like, well, if they had cuties and shit, they're not.
But he's showing the double standard on how people. He did this on purpose, bro. He did this to show the double standard.
Like, they're not gonna say anything about that joke.
No, he said it best. Is that like how they're doing the whole?
He's trying to expose their shady character.
Pretty much.
Maybe.
Like
I mean, that'd be dope.
Like right now, you'll see it.
You believe
with
he claimed that on Chappelle?
My bad.
With the John Gruden. With the Raiders and that whole incident.
That okay,
the Colts,
right?
No,
bro.
Yeah, somebody it was just joking between him and his friends.
But it didn't. But
it doesn't matter.
No. Listen, a lot of people picked this up, and it was that it was gonna be after he did this apology with the racial jokes. Everybody was gonna be okay with it. He wouldn't have lost his job. It was when the homophobic jokes came out that they were like, he's fired. He has to be canceled. That's it. That's done.
Someone dug in his emails. Like, okay, let me just say this. When this happened to a certain vice president of ours, and it became big news, something gate, the news was crying out how criminal this was. How this is the wrong. It's illegal for us to even read those emails. Remember, they tried to tell us this. But this guy's emails get leaked, And no one's gonna say this is not right that someone dug in.
It's because he was a homophobe, and that pissed off the black community because they are like, so
it's okay for him to be racist.
It's okay for him to be. That's how they're taking it. It's okay for him to be racist.
I'm not gonna get in the gate.
But talk about the homophobia, and all of a sudden you got to get canceled. And Dave Chappelle proved it at the end of it because they either turned it off if you were a Karen. Because you didn't want to watch it because you thought it was worth it. But he did expose a story where a trans person that Dave was actually going to allow this person to actually open for him. And he talked shit about her because, she completely bombed, but she said one joke, and I wish I could remember the joke. You're going to have to watch the special.
Yeah, don't fuck it up, bro.
Don't spoil it. People
she saved her entire act with it. And she loved Dave Chappelle. She laughed at all his jokes, even the transphobic jokes. And he basically got the character from this woman of like, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you take yourself too serious.
But wasn't it a dude?
Having a good...
No, it was a transgender person.
Having a good sense of humor.
And when Dave
Especially
heard
about
this,
yourself, that's good character.
And when Dave heard this, he told her. I guess spoiler alert, this is the end of it all.
Shit.
No, we don't.
We're not gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I guess.
But at the end of it all, he basically was like, because they got into a little argument, I guess, because they were in an interview. But at the end of it, they respected each other, and he was like, you know what? After all that was said and done, she took the jokes and she laughed about it, and she cracked her own jokes back, and they all laughed about it. And that's what comedy's supposed to be about.
Paid. You know what I'm saying?
He told her
big time.
He told her,
and all the exposure.
That.
That's probably what she was doing. She was trying to get herself even more clout by causing controversy.
No, but Dave offered her an opening position. Like, hey, if I'm in town. And he didn't
say you come on the road with me. He just said, "Hey, when I'm in town,
but she can open.
Never going back to that town."
No, but he said that next time he opens, because it's somewhere he goes frequently. It's like a regular comedy club that he likes to go to.
Okay.
And he says, next time I come, you can open for me, and I want you to open for me. And she was so excited. She went on Twitter and basically said on how, that everybody has it wrong, that Dave Chappelle is not a transphobic. I've met him, I've talked to him.
So now he's gonna give me a job.
And he defended him. Straight up.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It sounds like after he hooked me up with a gig
he had to prove it.
Yeah.
But in a sense, it was kind of after all the whole transphobic thing.
What if Shane said, Romo, if you're not homophobic, give me a kiss?
No.
Oh, Shane's a gay guy at work, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comedian Shane Gillis who got fired from SNL.
No, but at the end of it all, because after all the shit that they talked about him at this point, but at the end of it, because she did this, my bad.
Yeah.
Because she did this, her own community
turned on her
completely.
You see how that works?
For sure.
Remember?
But is it really her own community, or is it just online?
And 6 days later,
she died.
She committed suicide.
Oh,
and
shit.
There was this one article that Dave talks about it, and it's been like, it's said that he's transphobic and this and that, and he pointed out how I'm gonna say it, fuck it, that these transgender motherfuckers, this LGBTQ community,
calm down.
I'm just saying, they made this statement.
Neutral.
They made this statement of.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not all of them. It's a group that's really loud on the internet. That's what it is.
This
a small
group,
a handful.
Whatever. I don't care.
No, but he's right because remember.
Go ahead.
Caitlyn Jenner, she was the poster person for the trans community, right? When she made that comment, remember for a little while there was an issue of schools. In the school, should we let transphobic, girls that basically
sports.
in boys sports, right? And everybody was like, we should do, how everybody's trying to be all woke and shit. And Caitlyn Jenner gets on a public platform and says, no, I don't think that they should. That's not fair. Bro, they turned on her so fast.
She was running for governor for California.
They turned on her so fast.
Yeah. And the thing that they said in this article that Dave Chappelle pointed it out was, quit punching down on my people. Like, they're basically telling Dave Chappelle, quit making punchlines and punching down on our people. And at the end of it, Dave Chappelle's like, how about for your people, quit punching down on my people because you're killing my people. And he's talking about the comedians. And that's who that
Shout out to Glenn Wade's son.
Who he put in that group.
Like,
she wasn't, to him, she was, to Dave Chappelle, she wasn't a transgender person. It wasn't a person that was.
She was a comedian.
It was a comedian, a person that wanted to share the same dream that he did. But
that's the thing. It's like a whole system the hand, the
Mhm.
black hand that's trying to separate us by any means necessary.
They want to divide us. Yeah, it's
They
like,
want to divide
that's
us.
the
And
game.
humor unites
It's
us.
like I told you with the Colin Powell when I texted Joe. I said, look, you notice in every article they're trying to blame, like, oh, someone gave him COVID, bro. Some man just died, and all you care
Natural
about is
causes. He was like very
exactly.
old.
You know, and but that's what you see now. Oh, so and so died. They were not vaccinated. Well,
Right.
now the other side too. Now they're like, oh, well, this person died, and they were completely vaccinated. Like, bro,
Right.
just stop it. People die all the time. You're all falling for that division.
See, and I think strong-willed, strong character people. There's a lot of us out there
Can see through
it.
the chaos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Like shout out to my mom. Like I make fun of her a lot when I'm with her, but she sees through like the way that she's like, yeah, I can see how like it. But I love her. Like I make fun of her in front of her face though.
Yeah. You know, shout out to you. Shout out to Chris because you for a while were a person who really thought that things were a different way. You know, you were against.
Oh, yeah.
You were on a side. You picked a side.
And you know what? And I'm talking about who would have thought a year ago.
Exactly.
It was a year, almost a year.
And that's
ago.
what I'm saying. Your character allowed you in those 4 hours to completely. Okay, you know what? The evidence has been shown to me.
Because it's not personal.
Exactly.
It's not an attack on my.
I have received new data.
Intelligence.
I have received new data, so I'm gonna go ahead and
Right.
yes.
Let me process this. Like,
Yes.
it's not an attack on me.
Exactly.
But people always assume that you're attacking them.
Exactly.
Because they become weak character because of the internet.
Exactly.
Because of them social
Exactly.
media.
I was telling my homeboy at work, bro, look, because I he asked me for some relationship advice, homies, and I gave it to him, and I said, and he took it so good, and I said, bro, you know what's so awesome? That I can talk to you and criticize you, and you understand that I'm talking to you as a friend. I'm talking to you as someone who got some love for you.
But you're also not saying it in a
no,
mean
but see,
way.
but people get that fucking. You know how it is. You know how sometimes I
People
go a
are
little,
slappers.
I get a little rant. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And people.
No, but some people don't like any kind of constructive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I tell them, bro, you'd be surprised how many people would just take it as like this nigga's talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, but
they're hating.
that's good character in my opinion. If you can understand that, I'm getting criticized by someone who wants to see me do good, and not just because my ego is so sensitive. Everything's an attack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have their best interest in mind.
That shows
even if you
character,
don't know,
too.
even if you don't always like agree with what they're saying.
To
it's
take
like, bro.
criticism shows humility and character at the same time. You can take it, bro. Real talk.
And not always. Sometimes biting your tongue.
Yes.
Too.
Show what's the key thing? The Nigerian dude I told you.
But
The
see,
wisdom. Sometimes you shut the fuck up.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes speaking up is a good character.
Exactly.
Depending on the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't just let yourself get walked over, right? You know what I'm saying?
That, but like there was this time,
And
like,
don't just be a follower. Don't just co-sign everybody. God damn it.
or if you see that you can help somebody, like for instance, like at CVS, there was this lady one time, and she was trying to communicate with the cashier, but the cashier didn't know Spanish, and
Yeah.
this lady was like they were struggling.
So
and
you
shit.
stepped in.
So I stepped in, I translated, and made it go way
Hero. See,
quicker.
look, and that's what I've said this on the podcast. I said it in real life. That's what the hero is. Just a motherfucker that does what's right, just because it's right. Not because someone's watching me. Not because I'm gonna go talk about it. Not because I need it. Because I'm that kind of dude. No.
Right,
Because
because
it's the right thing to
I know
do.
there's people out there who could have done it and wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're just like, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Like, let me
Yeah.
just, and then eventually they'll put them to the side and then they'll do or something like.
And another thing that Cuss would say is the
Talking about
difference.
Customato, the trainer of Mike Tyson.
I was gonna ask, what's his full name? Like
Customato.
He's like,
Customato?
yeah, he was an old school white
Old
dude.
school.
Who knows
Italian?
Who knows what it
New York?
Custom. Yeah,
What's he,
D'Amato.
from
That's
New York?
that's Italian as fuck.
He's from New York, isn't he?
So he's probably
And
Italian.
that's where Mike Tyson is from.
Mafia.
Catskills.
Mafioso.
Well, then he got sent to a reform school down there. I don't know where he was from.
Brooklyn.
Either way,
The
he would
Bronx.
say that he would ask people, what is the difference between a hero and a coward? He said there is no
Character. Oh,
No, that's basically it.
character.
Oh, that's the answer?
Well, pretty much what I'm about to say.
Go ahead, finish
My
it
bad, my
before
bad.
Chris
He basi-
interrupted you.
Yeah. He basically said, God damn it, Chris.
Character. That was
Hey,
right.
character,
No.
don't blame him.
You
Ah!
answered so
Character
quick, you're so
apologize.
excited. No, okay, no. He said,
My bad.
was the difference between a hero and a coward, there is no difference internally. They're both internally both the same. It's what the hero does that makes him a hero, and what the coward doesn't do is what makes him a coward.
There you go, see? The
Yeah,
coward
but-
wouldn't have helped that lady out at the CVS.
The hero would have stepped in and done it, because most
Even
people-
though I'm gonna sound funny, and even though I'm gonna be
Hey,
embarrassed,
don't
it's like,
shit
fuck
on.
it.
Oh, what you gonna say?
look,
Oh,
No, I'm saying
I thought you were about to put a comment on that. Like, man, don't fuck it up.
Nah.
like for me, I can see some people who have a bad day, and I'll crack just some random ass joke. It can be the stupidest joke, the dumbest thing. You can say the dumbest thing to somebody who's having a worse day, and if you know how to play it off right, it makes a fucking day.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to say a joke. Like that's a lot of pressure. But if you
Not
just,
really.
I think just like eye contact, because kids nowadays, a lot of people don't do eye contact. Saying like I'm imagining like a cashier or something, right? Like you're having a transaction. Sound like a cat's at the door.
Oh, what the fuck?
You're having like a transaction, right? And saying please and thank you, and even if they don't say anything to you, like at Walmart, for instance, because they're probably having a shitty day, I still try to make it seem like give them a little bit of positive energy, and maybe they'll be like, okay, maybe not everybody's a fucking asshole. Like they won't. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. I feel better about it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of adding to the negativity and letting the negativity
One
get
part,
to me.
a good character. One thing about that is that even though everyone's acting like a piece of shit, even though everyone might be, acting a certain way, negative way, you're not gonna give in to that. You're not gonna allow that to affect you. You're gonna stay in your lane, and your lane is hopefully a positive one. You know what I'm saying?
Your character is armor. Like character is you protect
like
for sure.
My character, this recent thing is like one thing I worried about when I went back to work was people are gonna question anything, and it's like no, the character that I built the last 8 years where I've been working at has defined who I am as a person to everybody who knows me. They know me that I'm a very loudmouth person. I can be very vocal and I can cuss your ass out and I give a shit. But the one defining thing that everybody knows me for is that I don't get into it with people unless you give me a fucking reason. Like I don't just.
I think you're gonna say I'm a hard worker.
Well, I'm that too.
Oh, okay.
They define it as that.
You get your job done.
I get my job done. Sometimes I have an attitude with it. Sometimes I don't. But most of the time, which I do, it was either provoked or something else. Which I don't.
Well,
look
see,
at that way. It's always on me.
Even if they provoke, you gotta just like.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like not even now. Now you gotta even be better.
When I wasn't there and bad things were being spoke about me around there, most people didn't believe it. And because from one dude that told me, he stopped and talked to me about it. He was like, when they told me what happened, I didn't believe it. And I was like, well, what made you not believe it? I said, because I talk to you every day. I was like, there's no way that you could do some stupid shit like that. There was no way. And I told them that shit too. I told those guys, like, y'all fucking lying.
I'm glad that you got that assurance, but I feel like because you're such a good person and you know yourself and you take care of the kid and just you became a father and shit, like you shouldn't even need any kind of reassurance from anybody.
No, but it was cool to hear though.
For sure.
I don't really need it, but it was cool to hear from certain people that are old school.
Because you were probably doubting. You were worried, like you said, you were worried about what they might be thinking.
It was an anxiety type
of
thing.
And I went through exactly the same thing that you did. That's why I had to change from the Friday podcast to even though it was all CBD. I had to change to the podcast because I was, they were trying to get me fired and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, I'm not going to miss no days. I'm not going to, but I had to because I got sick. I actually got sick. But I wanted to be like, I'm going to work hard. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to do my job.
Yeah.
I'm not going to regurgitate the negative energy to the people who I know who's trying to get me fired. And so it's been tough, but it's been like, I feel like I'm on a new adventure, so I feel like I have something to prove. So even if they think, like, yes, they know about my skills because of my past, I want them to be even more impressed by my present and future. I just want to constantly improve.
Yeah. And that's the one thing is like, for me, I'll give an example of little things with my character. It's like, when I'm at work, I'm a hard worker. I bust my ass. I do everything on what the job has asked me to do.
Like a good being there.
Nah, it's not. This year's been taking a hit on the attendance. It's like, I'll be there, but I might not be there. And I need to fix that.
You gotta be
there. And that's
there.
on me. It's not about what the job is or what people do and how they make it hard. It's not about that. It's about your attendance to work and being there when you need to be there. But also taking the days off when you have the days off and not taking too many off.
Right.
Feeling some type of way or this.
You're
finding a fucking excuse,
Right.
This is not my character. It's not who I am.
Which shit, it took me till I was like
You're being
32.
a feeler, not a doer.
Pretty
right.
much.
Yeah.
Which took me a long time, so don't.
And I'm not knocking people who do that. They go through that. It's okay to go through periods of that in your life, but what's not okay is to continue doing it.
But that's how, I got a family friend who's working at my mom's school, and she's late every day, and she doesn't go sometimes, and she's slacking, and it's falling on my mom. So my mom has to talk to her and shit. And she's in her she's early 20s. And it's just like I think the young people too don't realize, because I think QT, they're always like shorthanded and shit because it's like young people and then they just dip out. Ghosting. They do ghosting at jobs and shit.
I could totally co-sign that because you know what? I've also gone through periods where like, you know what? I didn't have my work life organized. And you know what? I realized it just started to leak out into my other aspects of my life. I would be, other shit would go unorganized. Shit would go wrong there too. And I already would be having to deal with shit at work that I created, you know, situations that I created. And then I couldn't handle this. And now I'm like, then you're just weighed down by stress, anxiety. But at the end of the day, once again, it's like, I created this. So I got, you know, the character that you have is like, yeah, either you're gonna deal with it, you're gonna be a doer, you're gonna be a failure. You know what I'm saying?
And it takes time, and it takes steps, and it takes patience.
Yes, and I can tell you now that I've organized, tried to organize my work schedule and everything, work preparedness and all that. I feel like everything else is sharper than ever. You know, the podcast. You know, we still doing it. You know, I've come up on a lot of good topics. You know, like
right.
you know, life is good. You know, and I feel that life is good because I've worked hard to organize it and make it that way. You know,
right.
And, you know, like I said, God will help you. God helps him who helps himself first. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what happened. God is like, hey man, you make the first move, and I'm right there with you. And that's all God wants, bro. Take that first step to show me that you really want to walk the path instead of going the circle of karma and depression.
I'll help you there.
It's like in one of the poems that I've written. It's because I was reading some of the Bible and I can't remember what verse I was reading, but the premise of the whole poem that I wrote was, you know, you can always it's easy to just stay looking down at the dark. That's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to stay down. He wants you to just not look. What makes man a man is that he gets his ass up facing all the demons and all the weight, knowing that it's just your own self. And when you actually look, put forth the effort, you'll be surprised on how bright that light can shine and how far you can go to reach that light. It may be heavy and it may be hard. It may be a long and treacherous journey that you have to go through to reach that light. But the more you reach towards it, the more close you get to it, the more strength you gain. Yeah. That's the power of God in his life. Yeah, that's basically what I wrote.
That's dumb.
But yeah, it's like it goes back to what he said. What Vino said. You have to do it yourself. Yeah. You have to get up and you have to do it all on your own.
You ain't gonna get shit done talking about it. You know what I'm saying? In fact, that's why I just don't say shit sometimes. I'm like, if I tell people, now I put out expectations, and now I might have set myself up for a little failure there. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes I just, you know, hey, you know what? Not comparing, but you know what? You gotta work like God. You gotta work in silence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
then later on, you can write a book about it. So.
Yeah. You know what
like God did.
I'll tell an NFL story. And it was about, if you didn't know the guy named Eric Berry. Eric Berry was an all Pro Bowl fucking safety. Very great. You know, he had suffered a couple injuries. Yeah, about an ACL tear. But what happened was, I think he was coming off of his best year ever, his Pro Bowl game or whatever. It was Inky Johnson was at one of his games. Inky Johnson is another NFL talent. He was a prospect who lost mobility in his arm during the middle of a game. He took a hit, never had mobility of his right arm ever again.
So his arm was paralyzed?
His arm was paralyzed. He can't move it.
Probably fucked the nerve.
And I could go into the story of who Inky Johnson is, but I would rather y'all just look that up. And
his name is Inky Johnson.
So what's the Eric Berry story?
Eric Berry, cartoon? If y'all didn't know, he actually contracted leukemia. He took a hit. He had a pop in his shoulder. But the one thing that Inky Johnson.
Leukemia from injuries?
Nah.
Listen.
He must have.
Listen.
Yeah, tell the story.
Inky Johnson saw that. You know, he took a hit, came in. I think it was like in the third, fourth quarter. Boom, takes a fucking hit. You know, Eric Berry gets up, gets out of the game, and you know he hands the game ball to Inky Johnson. He's like, hey, you know, that's the game ball for you and your boy. He's like, I don't need that. He's like, nah, just take it. And Inky was like, hey, you know what happened on that play? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you know, I took a hit. But it's all good. I was like, well, I saw you start the game, but I never saw you finish it. You know, what happened? He's like, I just took a hit on the shoulder, heard a pop. You know, I want to take me to the doctor, give me an MRI. He's like, all right, brother, you know, just let me know. When you get out of the doctor, just call me.
They're talking on the field?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, they hug, they go off. You know, he goes to the doctor, gets his MRI. He calls him back the next day. He says, well, they told me that I have a lymph node in my shoulder. I think it was the shoulder, around his neck area. Mm-hmm. And they said it possibly could be cancer. And he had cancer in his shoulder. The lump was cancerous. And the first thing that he asked the doctor was, okay, well, when can I play again? Mm-hmm. When can I get back on the field?
Right.
That's the type of dude he was. And he wasn't the type of guy that was like, okay, you know, I'm hurt. You know, well, what can we do to try to fix it? He's like, okay, well, what can we do to fix it so I can get back on the field?
Right.
And that shows a lot.
Yeah.
And he didn't quite understand this. Like, you don't understand, bro. Like, you're going to have to go through chemo. You're not going to play this season. So he had to sit out the rest of that season. And I think half of the next season, or at least that whole off season, going through chemo, doing workouts, trying to keep himself in shape. You got to imagine that takes on the body.
Yeah.
Doing
I mean,
chemo.
chemo literally fucking, it's like,
Kills you.
yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, he said that a few times that he would go out there to see, you know, how Eric Berry was doing his workouts. So you see him crying. And people would ask him, he's like, you know, are you worried about him? And he's, you know, are you worried about Eric? Or, you know, are you worried about, you know, what's going on? He says, no, you know, I'm not worried about it. Because, you know, what y'all look at is Eric Berry, the athlete. Who I know is Eric Berry, the man. I know that man's character. And his character is, yeah, he sees that I can't kick it in the next gear like I used to. I can't get to that next level. But he said, I don't worry about him because, you know, his character is that he's not going to let that stop him. He's not going to allow that to keep him from accomplishing and being who he wants to be.
Trying to be the best he can be.
It may be, yeah, bad character and hard-headedness, but it also is good in the sense of he knows what he wants to do. And he wants to prove it to himself that he could have done it.
And that probably, did he heal?
He healed.
Okay, because that probably helps you heal when you set goals and you're like, all right, well, I got to do this to do that. All right, well, fuck it, let's do this. So you'll get me there.
Yeah, he came back cancer-free, came back, played another 2 years, was a Pro Bowl selection, and he tore his ligament in his right knee and was done for the rest of his life.
And he got AIDS.
But he played for a very...
Now that's the root.
But he played for a very, very long career, very strenuous career, but to come back from cancer and then to not let that deter you, and then to hear, instead of him saying like, okay, well, fuck, you know, when you hear cancer, you're thinking like,
It's over.
you know, that's it.
KO.
He didn't even think of
R.I.P.
that. He didn't think of that.
Well, what year was this? I mean, because a lot of people survived
2016,
cancer.
2015.
Oh, okay, so this is a couple years ago.
So he was
He
very
knew he was
lucky.
going to survive.
Yeah.
Well, there was high likelihood, right?
Yeah.
Being so healthy and shit.
That's a good episode.
Good
Yeah,
way
we
to
cap
end
it
it.
on that. You know, a little.
Wrap it up. All right.
Yeah. Hey, man.
That was building character. Hopefully this
We
podcast...
did. This is a special episode because the 3 OGs are here. We did a whole fucking hour. And
Man.
if you made it this far, your fucking character
Yeah, your
is
character's going up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All
See
right.
y'all next time.
Yeah.
Peace.